This is all the treasure that I found in my first year with the metal detector. As you can see, I got a bunch of coins here and many other things. A lot of it that I don't even know what it is just yet. But I had all this stuff I put in this little treasure box here. And the really good stuff I saved out separate. As you can see, I put this in a little plastic box. And I have some nice rings and some nice old coins. These are all old coins that you've seen on other videos. So I'm saving those separate, but I'm getting ready now to put a bunch of this stuff back in circulation. The nasty old pennies and quarters and nickels and dimes and stuff that are recent. No sense in keeping a big pile of those. So they're going to go back in circulation. And what I'm going to do, not with the good stuff, but with the average stuff, I've got this little tumbler here. That's the barrel. This is the tumbler itself. I'm going to clean some of that stuff up and just put her back into circulation. Some of these things, I don't know what they are, actually. I've got, like this little guy. This, to me, I think is a piece of a silver bar. It was definitely poured. It was broken off. There's a broken end. It's silver. It shines up good. It's not magnetic. And I found it out at an old mine site. So, still don't know what that is. Here's some dog tags. Here's an old copper bracelet. Found a watch laying on the surface, not with the metal detector. Here are some things that are highly magnetic, and they could be meteorites. They got the burn marks, and they got all the characteristics of meteorites. So we keep those separate. I have other poured things. Like this has been poured into a mold. It's not magnetic, it's silver, it shines up good. So I don't know what that is. Got an old bottle opener, Irish, one of the old Irish ales, and a few other things. So anyhow, this is the first year's worth of findings, and much of it I'm going to keep separate and not touch, of course. I'm not going to clean the really good old coins and jewelry and stuff. But a bunch of the pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters that are fairly recent, we're going to put them in the tumbler and clean them up and put them back in circulation. So I'm pretty happy. This is just a hobby. Don't expect to make a lot of money out of it. But a lot of interesting finds here. So as you can see, I separated the coins out into pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. And I've got a barrel here, tumbler barrel, about half full of pennies. I didn't want to fill it much more than that. That's why I've got this little bucket here full of pennies. And also I have a bunch of pennies here that really don't need to be cleaned up. They can just go right back into circulation. But I've got a bucket here, my tumbler bucket, about half full of pennies. I also sorted out a bunch of weak pennies to go in my special box, and a bunch of interesting items to go back in the treasure box. So the next thing is going to be, I'm going to take these guys in this little tumbler barrel, fill it about half full of water, add a little bit of detergent, and tumble them for a couple hours. Now, hopefully they turn out pretty good. Some of them may be so bad, so corroded, that I can't even put them back in circulation. I mean, I want to be, we're only talking pennies here, I want to be honest with other people. I don't want anyone getting a roll of pennies that have these like horribly corroded things. So we'll see how they clean up. An interesting note is that the modern pennies, which are like zinc, not really copper, they don't stand up to corrosion very well. you find those guys, and they're in pretty bad shape. You can find some of the older pennies, like some of these guys, some of the Wheaties that I pulled out of here. They can be in the ground for a long time and still be in good shape. But the modern pennies, they corrode really quickly. Here we go. We're going to put a little bit of water in here. Cover those guys with water. That's about half full. We're going to take some dish soap. Put a little bit of that in there. Cover them up and tumble them for a while. Here we go. We're going to give this guy a couple hours and we'll see what comes out. Here are the coins after about 3 hours of tumbling. Let's see what we come up with. So I'm rinsing them off now. Wow. This is looking pretty good. Man, I'm impressed. This is the first batch that I've done. And these guys are looking pretty darn good. I didn't know what to expect, but man alive, I'm pretty pleased. We can put these back in circulation. So look at these pennies. I'm pretty impressed. This is the first time I've done this, and these guys are coming out like they're looking like brand new pennies after a couple hours in the tumbler, and they were pretty shoddy. They were pretty awful looking. So this is the way to clean up some pennies. Put them in the tumbler for a few hours with a little bit of laundry detergent.